ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् योगिनम् विश्वनाथाख्यम् अस्मत्तातस्वरूपिणम् आत्मलाभात् परम् लाभम् भक्तारम् न कदाचन गीतार्थग्रन्थकर्तारम् श्रीगुरुम् प्रणमाम्यहम् योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मे वाचम् धृतिम् बुद्धिम् प्रचोदयात् ओम् नमः सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमः. We are in the fifth lecture of the Sanat Sujatiyam series. Sanat Sujata is waxing eloquent about Brahman. So now Dhritarashtra says, tell me about Brahman. Quickly, tell me about Brahman. And Sanat Sujata calms him down, says, don't be in a hurry. Naitat Brahman Twaramanena Labhyam. If you hurry like this, you won't know. You cannot hurry up like this. Because Sanat Sujata also knows this, the intelligence status in terms of spiritual intelligence status of Dhritarashtra. So he says, don't be in a hurry. Actually, the Buddhau Praline Manasi, the intellect has to go and merge itself in the mind. Evam buddhe param buddhva, third chapter. That is, it is beyond the intellect. So if you try to understand all the about Brahman by the intellect, you will fail somewhere. You will have to stop. You will have to go beyond the intellect. So buddhau praline manasi. When the buddhi is merged in the intellect, then you have to meditate on it. That is how you will get to know the Brahman. And therefore, and he adds one word, only by brahmacharya it will be obtained. Dhritarashtra immediately asks, what is brahmacharya? As if he does not know. But he says, why this brahmacharya he is giving so much importance? So Dhritarashtra says, what is brahmacharya? And Sanat Sujata goes on talking about how Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana, sixth chapter, fourth chapter of the Gita. That is Tatvidhi pranipatena. You have to go and seek a guru, fall at his feet, and then serve him, and then listen to him, and it will take time. Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. You have to ask him questions, and then you have to serve him, and then he will tell you. You have to come in slow doses. You cannot get it all just like that. He will be able to give you that. And he adds another shloka, Mata Pita, you may be born of your Mata and Pita, but Guru is your final Mata Pita. Mata Pita have given birth only to your body. For you, as a spiritual aspirant, as a seeker, as a jnani, only Guru will give you that knowledge. There are four facets of brahmacharya. One is the Tatvidhi pranipatena, go and save, serve him and so on. Not only Guru, Guru Putra also. Not only Guru Putra, Guru Patni also. You see, you have to have that Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. All these things he goes on telling shloka after shloka. But today I want to finish this series of Sanat Sujatiyam, so I am going to give only certain major aspects of what Sanat Sujata says. And that is a very interesting shloka there. Kalena padam labhate tatayam tathaiva padam guru yogatascha utsaha yogena tata padam ruchet shastrena padam tatato biyati. Sanat Sujata describes how one assimilates the knowledge from the Guru. Kalena padam labhate, in due course of time. Kalena, no hurry. Tathaiva padam guru yogatascha, Guru's grace. That is another quarter. So you get a quarter of the knowledge in due course of time. Another quarter from the Guru's grace. Utsaha, by your enthusiasm. Utsaha yoga. For everything he writes, he uses the word yoga. Yoga, as I told you, is the technique. Whenever there is a technique or a procedure or a program in the spiritual world, they use the word yoga. So there are different types of yogas. So utsaha yogena cha padam, by your enthusiasm you will get the other quarter. Shastrena padam cha tato bhiyati, by reading the scriptures, by the shastras, by your familiarity with the shastras, you will get the other quarter. So 1 quarter in due course of time, 1 quarter by Guru's grace, 1 quarter by your enthusiasm, another quarter by the shastras which study. This reminds me, I have been a mathematics teacher all my life, and this reminds me of a standard shloka that I used to tell my teachers. You see, the teachers used to confer, like a quality improvement, like that. All teachers will gather together, and some senior teachers, like me or like somebody, would come and lecture and so on. And they will be taught various latest ideas or whatever. But finally, you will have to tell them what is it that they can expect to teach to their students. So I tell them the standard shloka. Acharyat padamadatte padam shishyasvameva padam sabbrahmacharibhyah padam kalakramena cha. A student learns from his teacher only a quarter of the knowledge that he possesses. Acharyat padamadatte padam shishyasvameva. 1 quarter the Shishya learns by himself. Padam sabbrahmacharibhyah. Another quarter he learns from his co-students, other students with whom, and that is his colleagues. So, sabbrahmacharibhyah, other brahmacharis. Padam sabbrahmacharibhyah padam kalakramena cha. Another quarter in due course of time. He does not learn it. And look at Sanat Sujata also saying the same thing. Kalena padam labate tatayam tathaiva padam guru yogatasya utsaha yogena cha padam richet shastrena padam cha tato bhiyati. So he goes on. So he elaborates what is brahmacharya, how you should go to the guru, how you should serve him. All those things are rather elaborate. Then we come to the 4th chapter of Sanat Sujatiyam, where Sanat Sujata really talks about Brahman. So first he immediately, even there, he gives an introduction. Jnanadayo dvadashayasya rupam. I told you, Sanat Sujata says to Dhritarashtra, I told you in the beginning itself that there are 6 gateways to knowledge. I told you, they are fruitful, they are very useful. They are gateways, of course, but they are not gateways all by yourself. They are fruitful only at the feet of the Guru. You go and fall at the feet of the Guru, and then you do all that Satyam Jnanam, all those things. Then Jnana Adayo Dvadashayasya Rupam, then that will be fruitful to you. And what are those things? Jnanam cha satyam cha damashrutam cha amatsaryam hri titiksha anasuya yajnascha danancha dhriti shamascha mahavratat dvadasha brahmanascha. There are 12, there are 12 things he said, of which we know all of that. Jnanam, satyam, dama. Dama means control of sense organs. Shama means control of mind. Control of mind. So, control of senses and control of mind. Damaha means control of sense organs. Shama means control of mind. Sometimes the meanings are interchanged. You will see in the scriptures, Shama means control of senses and Dhamma means all those things. There are, Kanchi Mahaswami has spoken very elaborately about these things. Because Sanat Sujata was talking about Brahmachari just now, I want to tell you something which comes from the Vedas. Satyam param paragam satyam satye nanasu varkan lokachavante kadachana satagimgi satyam tasmaat satye ramante. It starts like this. What starts like this? The last paragraph, Anuvaka of the Yajurveda. The last, very last. And what is the subject matter there? What is the greatest thing for spiritual ascent? He starts with Satyam. Satyam param paragam satyam satye nanasu vargan lokachyavante. By truth alone, one does not slip from this Swarga. It starts like that. So he talks about Satya, then talks about Dhamma, then talks about Shama, then he talks about Tyaga. So many things, about 20 things he talks about. It's a long paragraph. You have to recite it. It's in prose. You have to recite it without even taking the breath. That is why several people sit together and say this. So, and there, the third line also, there are steps, Satyam, and then Dhamma, and then Shama, and then something, and then something. It goes on. Finally, Nyasa Ityare Chayate. Sannyasa is best. That is how the Yajurveda ends. Now, in the third step it says, Damayati niyatam brahmacharinah tasmaat dame ramante shamayityaranye munayah tasmaat shame ramante. Damayati niyatam brahmacharinah tasmaat dame ramante. What is the greatest? What is greatest is the question. What is the greatest goal? What is final? What will lead me to final realization of the Supreme Truth is the question. The answer starts from truth and then it goes to Dhammaha. Dhamma means control of the sense organs. Dhamma iti niyatam brahmacharinaha. Brahmacharis, those brahmacharis, Naishtika brahmacharis, they are brahmacharis for their whole life. They say Dhamma. Dhamma is the greatest. Control of the sense organs is it. Shamayityaranye munayagam. In the forest there are munis living there. Vanaprasthashrama, they are looking, they are searching for the supreme truth. Shama, they say, Shama is the greatest. Like that, who says what is greatest, and so on, so on, so on. It goes on, a whole paragraph. The whole paragraph is 2.5 pages long. It goes on in prose. It's very interesting. And when several people sit together and recite it, you will be thrilled. Anyway, so Shama and Dhamma, all these are included in the 12 qualities that Sanat Sujata has told Dhritarashtra. And he says, at the feet of the Guru, they will become fruitful. And finally, only by jnana, only by knowledge, not by karma, not by action, one will realize that supreme truth. Na hyanyate anyatha tasya pantha na vidyate. There is no other path. Nanyaf pantha vidyate yanaya. Isn't it? Now Dhritarashtra always asks elementary questions. And Sanat Sujata always is at a higher level. Dhritarashtra asks, all right, that Brahman is of what color? Look at that silly question. Brahman is of what color? Abhati shuklam eva lohitam evatho krishnam adharjunam kadravam va. He lists all the colors. Is it white? Is it red? Is it black? Is it bright? Is it smoky? Shuklam, lohitam, krishnam, arjunam. Arjunam means bright. Kadravam means smoky. So, Sanat Sujata says, none of that kind. And he repeats all that. It is neither white, nor red, nor black. He repeats all that. It is not negatable. Beyond ignorance. Though he, in this chapter, in the 4th chapter of Sanat Sujatiyam, in small Anushtup shlokas, Sanat Sujata repeats, almost borrows the words of the Vedas. So those same Vedas, Anoraniyam Mahato Makiyam Atma Guhayam Hitosya Janto Anoho Aniyam, smaller than the smallest. Anoraniyam, Mahato Mahiyam, bigger than the biggest. It's all Vedic quotes. So he puts them in a shloka here. He does all that. It's interesting. And then Yatodapane Mahati Sarvatas Sampratodake Evam Bhuteshu Sarveshu Brahmanasya Visheshataha. Remember, in the Gita there is an interesting shloka in the second chapter. Sarvatas Sampratodake Yavanarthabudapane Sarvatas Sampratodake Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanata. When the whole area is full of water, what is the use of a pot of water? Sarvatas Sampratodake Yavanarthabudapane. Same idea he uses here. Yatodapane Mahati Sarvatas Sampratodake Evam Bhuteshu Sarveshu Brahmanasya Visheshataha. The Vedas also, you see, earlier we told you that the Vedas point the way, and they also tell you this. There is a prashna called Aruna Prashna in the Yajurveda. There is after the Samhita portion is over, there is an Aruna Prashna. It is one does namaskara for the sun god by reciting that. It is called Surya Namaskara Prashna. There, Yajvano yepya yajvanaham swarpyanto nape ekshante. The one who is doing the various rituals for attaining the supreme truth, he is not satisfied even by grant of Swarga. Swarpyanto nape ekshante. He does not want even the Swarga, the so-called heaven. This is in the Vedas. Right? In the Tamil world, Alvars, there are several songs in the Tamil Prabandhams. Ichuvai thavira yanboi indira logamalum achuvai perinum vendeen. Out of that, besides this pleasure of being in the presence of the Lord and talking about His names, other than this pleasure, even if I am given the pleasure, the happiness of Indra's world, I don't want it, says Alvar. You see, so from the Vedic times to modern times, this thing is there. That is the supreme truth. Once you realize it, that pleasure and that happiness is not attained even by going to moksha or even by anything else. And who said it first in mythology? The small boy Dhruva, he goes to the tapas, and after 5.5 months of tapas, the Lord stands before him. He is not able to see him because he is seeing him inside. So he removes that from his mind, and suddenly he sees the Lord is standing there. He is not even able to talk because he is a 5-year-old boy, and the Lord touches his right cheek by his conch, by his shankar, and then he starts. Yantah pravishya mama vacham. He starts 12 shlokas, beautiful shlokas. And in that one of the shlokas says, Yanirmritistanumrutam tavapada patma dhyanat bhavat janakata shravanena yasyad sabrahmani swamahimanyapinatamabhut. The pleasure, the happiness that one gets by reciting the names of the Lord, one does not get even by going to the supreme truth, the realization of the supreme truth. This thought that the very utterance of the names are better even, it's purely only for it's a poetic way of saying, right? And it starts from the time of Dhruva. Dhruva means one of the earliest Swayambhu Manu. So many millions of years ago he lived there. So from that time to the modern time of Alvars, this idea is there. And that, as you know, that is the idea in that shloka. Yatha udapane mahati sarvatas sampratodake. When everything is full, what is the use of these little pleasures? You see? So, and then he says, Ahame vasmivo atma ahamasmi. Sanat Sujata immediately goes into music. I am the father, I am the mother, I am the Lord. You see, that is in the Taittiriya Upanishad, in the third adhyayam, Prashna, at the end, ha, hu, ha, like that, yes, music will come. Why? Because the reciter, the student, has realized the supreme truth, and so he sings. He goes into rhapsody, into excellence by that. So like that, Sanasujata starts here. Pita mahosmissa viraha, pita putrasya bharata, mamaiva yuyam atmasta, name yuyam nachapyam. Everything is in me, but I am not in you. Remember, Gita also has sentences. So like that, Sanat Sujata says all that. So there is, for every Vedantic statement, there is a beautiful shloka in Sanat Sujata's 4th chapter. I am not going to all of that. I am taking only one of those shlokas to elaborate in the next 15 minutes. You know that shloka. Purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vasishyate purnamadav purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vasishyate. He repeats this shloka slightly in different language. That doesn't matter, but the meaning is the same. And remember, Sanat Sujata is not giving the meaning to Dhritarashtra. He goes on, like he says this shloka and he goes to another idea. And the other idea is, you cannot see him by eyes. The very eyes, who gave sight to the very eyes? Him you cannot see. Yat chatusha pashyati. By him, the eyes cannot see him, because the eyes themselves have got their sight from him. So how do you see? How do the eyes see him? You cannot see inside. That is the whole idea. You cannot see inside. Yat chatusha pashyati. All those things he repeats. So here this Purna idea also, he repeats. This we shall spend a few minutes talking about this. Purnamadaha Purnamidam. That is also infinite. This is also infinite. Earlier I told you, infinite, the definition of infinite differs from the mathematics and the Vedanta. So the Vedanta infinite comes here. Purnamadaha, that is infinite. That means Tatpadartham, that is Tatpadartham, that is the Lord, Ishvara, Purnam. He is infinite. Purnamidam. From the Tatpada, this Tvam Padartha. Tvam Padartha means me, that is the individual, Jiva. So that is also Purnam. That is also Purnam, this is also Purnam. How can both be? Purnam means all pervading. Everything is pervading, there is nothing outside. There is nothing which is not there. So that is called the Purnam. That is called the infinite. You see, therefore, I cannot but go back to my school days. When I was probably 17 or 18, I was studying mathematics honors, MA, right? And there was a mathematical exhibition we arranged. And my teacher taught me this shloka, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. So for that, he gave me a beautiful example. All the integers in one line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, goes on, infinite number of integers. From that you take away the odd integers, 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. Write it in the next line. And then the remaining will be 2, 4, 6, 8, even integers. Now you look at it, that is also infinite, this is also infinite. From the infinite you have taken the infinite, this is also infinite. This is what I mean, as a student, 17-year-old student, I was explaining to visitors. Probably I must have done it 100 times that day. So it stuck in my mind. But that is not the proof of this. This infinity is different. The Vedanta infinity is different. How can that be Purnam and this be Purnam? There cannot be two Purnams. There cannot be two infinities. Because infinity means all pervading. All pervading. So there cannot be two infinities, and therefore how do you understand this? So the scholars, acharyas have told us, all words in Sanskrit, especially in Vedanta, there is what is called a primary meaning and there is what is called an implied secondary meaning. One is called the Vachyartha, the other is called the Lakshyartha. Vachyartha is the first thing, that is the direct meaning. You use that. If it does not make sense, then you go to the Lakshyartha. So here the Vachyartha, the direct meaning, does not make sense. That is also Purnam, this is also Purnam. How can there be two infinities? How can both be all pervading? So you have to go to the Lakshyartha. What is the Lakshyartha? That Purnam Adaha, that is the Ishvara, and Purnam Idam, that is the Jiva, it is the Jiva, its Lakshyartha is Brahman itself. Jiva is made up of the Atma and BMI. Right? That is what we call the Jiva. So you take only the Lakshyartha. The Lakshya of Jiva is Brahman. That is Purnam. Here also there is only Brahman. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. He has said it. So Brahma is infinite. Jiva is also infinite. Therefore we take the Lakshyartha. That will tell you that Swarupataha, by their nature, both are infinite. Jiva, by its innate nature, it is infinite. Brahman, by its innate nature, is infinite. So, the Aikyam, that is the Abhinna. Abhinna means there is no distinction. There is no distinction between the Tatpadartha Brahman and the Tvampadartha Jivan. Tatpada, Tat means Brahman, Tvam means Jivan. Between these two things, in the Lakshyartha, there is no distinction. So Purnamadah Purnamidam, that first quarter of the shloka says Tat Tvam Asi. That is what it says. Second, come to the second quarter. Purnat Purnamudachyate. From the infinite, infinite comes. From the Ishvara, Jiva comes. But how can one Purna come from another Purna? Purna itself is all pervading. Thereafter there is nothing outside. So how can it come from something else? So that kind of ordinary meaning will be absurd. So what they have said is, Sopadika Drishtya, this is Jiva has adjuncts. The Ishvara has also adjuncts. There is a Shariri and there is a Sharira. Shariri means resident in the body. Jiva, there is a resident in the body. You see, there is a Karya, this is the Karya, Karana, there is a Sambandha. Karya Karana Sambandha, cause and effect. Now, the cause and effect are only for along with the adjuncts. I will give you an example, you will understand it. Ghatakasha. What is a Ghatakasha? The space within the pot. There is universal space. There is universal space, there is the space within the pot. There is no distinction between these spaces. From the space point of view, there is no pot space. From the space point of view. From the pot point of view, there is a pot space, there is a universal space. You understand this? So, this is what we have to understand. From the Jiva, the adjunct point of view, the Jiva individual, along with the adjuncts, from that Sharira Drishti, from that point of view, Jiva is born from Brahman. Otherwise, Jiva is not born at all. Jiva and Brahman are the same. So, Purnat Purnamudachyate means that from the Brahman point of view, there is no birth. From the Jivan point of view, from the Jiva, that is the Sopadika Jiva. Jiva with all its adjuncts. Without the adjuncts, Jiva and Brahman are the same. So Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vasishyate. From the infinite, if you take infinite, Purnam alone remains. What is this? This means, from the infinite you are taking infinite means, you are taking the infinitude of the Jiva. The Jiva has the infinitude, that is the Atma part, and the BMI part. Right? From the Atma part, that is the infinitude, from the infinite of the Jiva, you take the infinitude. That means you are taking the Brahman as effect. Brahman was cause and this is effect as the Jiva. So you are taking the effect outside. You are taking the effect outside. You are taking the infinitude out of the Jiva. Then there is nothing that remains. Therefore, then nothing that remains means Sharira does not even remain. Sharira is from if you say that Jiva is made up of the Atma and the Sharira, and the Atma is taken out, then Sharira should remain. No, it is not like that. The logic is not like that. The logic of the infinity says, that is what it says. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. The infinity remains, and therefore there is no Sharira now, which means Sharira is Mithya. Brahma Satyam. Jagan Mithya. Right? Jagan Mithya. Mithya means not absolute reality, not reality, and it is relative unreality. It will appear, it will not show up in the absolute case. It will today, past, present and future, three cases you should see, but it is not so. That is called Mithya. So Anatma is unreal. This is what the Purna mantra, Purnamadav Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. So all this Sanat Sujata wants to say to Dhritarashtra. So the final thing, he does not conclude by saying any summary. The summary we have ourselves to judge, ourselves to get. What is the summary therefore? That is, by sadhana, shravana, manana, enquiry, nididhyasana, we have to realize about the reality. Our ignorance and non-enquiry is what leads to our misunderstanding. Satsanga activates all this, our mind. So the purified mind plus satsanga plus shravana, that makes you a vijanat. Vijanat means vivichya janati, one who can distinguish and understand. Then you will know the real truth. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati. He who sees me everywhere, he who sees that Brahman is everywhere, and there is nothing else other than Brahman, then that is the one who will reach, who is considered as the Brahmajnani. Sanat Sujata ends like that. Thank you. I want to thank the Advaita Academy for giving me this opportunity of talking about Sanat Sujatiyam, particularly to a lot of people who might be viewing it from all over the world. Thank you all. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu.